Hello, everyone. This is Tara.
And Ryan.
Tara Talks.
Ryan listens.
That's right. Thank you for checking out our third episode of Tara Talks, Ryan Listens. Thank you, everyone, for checking out the first two as well. We hope you enjoyed it.
Can't believe it's already episode 3.
Can't believe it. So a lot of you may have been waiting on this episode, because if you follow either one of us on social media, I'm sure you know that we got engaged.
Yep.
I mean, I hate that this is not a video episode because I'm literally just sitting here staring at my ring.
Yeah, I was going to do a video episode for this, but it didn't happen. Sorry.
Yeah, it's been a crazy long week, obviously. But yes, we got engaged. And with that being said, we're going to tell y'all a little bit about that story today, in addition to the rest of our content. But I think it's probably best to begin with the beginning.
Kids, this is the story of How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother is one of our favorite shows, actually.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I guess we can tell people how we met. A lot of people are always intrigued by that story because it's such a weird, I guess, random story. Who would have thunk it type story. So yeah, I'll start and then you feel free to correct me or add at any point.
Let me start it and then you go from there.
Okay.
It all started the very first day of 4th grade at Kennedy, at what was then known as Kennedy Elementary, in Miss Shaver's 4th grade class.
Shout out to Miss Shavers.
That was one of my favorite teachers ever. So, I'm in class with one of my friends, and we both checking out the girls because we're 4th grade boys. That's what we do.
Wow.
And yeah, in walks this adorable girl with long hair and glasses.
Yep.
And like a super bright smile, and like she legit looked like a nerd.
I still am.
And that's what I like. He's like, oh man, I'm gonna go for this girl over here. I was like, I legit think I see my future wife.
Wow.
And I went to go and try to introduce myself. And this was like the very first ever curve or swerve. It was both. It was a curve and a swerve. Shot got blocked. Like the championship LeBron won with the Cavaliers against the Warriors, where he blocked the literal hell out of Iguodala's dunk. It was that. That's what it was. So,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you shot me down. You're like, ew, boys are gross. I'm gonna be the next Oprah.
Absolutely. I was the only 4th grader with a planner. Yes, I had a Mickey Mouse planner.
She had a planner.
I did. I had stuff to do. I was not worried about
She was
boys
9
or
years
dating.
old.
I had goals.
Okay.
And
there's nothing wrong with that, but
and I wasn't really that boy crazy. I wasn't. Now I will admit I may or may not have had a crush on you, but only
tell the story first before you go telling that lie.
So only on the Gifted and Talented bus, because there were only 2 black boys on the Gifted and Talented boys bus. And you were the cute one. So I did kind of stare at you. I did kind of, observe. But then when we got to class.
Regular class, that is.
Regular class.
So real quick backstory on that. Our Gifted and Talented program was called EPIC. I forgot what it stands for. It's been so long.
Yes.
Something about excellence and whatever. Mm-hmm. So we had to take a bus on one day out of the week from our actual school to a different location where we sat in that class for the entire day. All right. It was pretty cool. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that. I miss it. Well, I don't miss school.
I was like, you miss Epic.
That was fun.
It was epic. I got you.
See what you did there. But yeah, so we would we were known as the smart kids, I guess, because I guess we were. But yeah, we got on the bus, got to school, regular school at like the same time.
It's so funny because it would be like, bye peasants, I'm gonna go do cool stuff.
Basically. And we really did go do cool. So we were learning French in the 4th grade. It was so cool. But yeah, so we got on the bus and we rode the bus to the other side of town, to the other school the school was just another regular public school, but they had like an annex building where the smart kids would go, I guess. So yeah, now carry on. Just not y'all know what Epic is.
Right. And so in our, I guess, regular class back on the ranch, back on the ranch. So I did not like him then because he was laughing and talking too much. And there wasn't the time for that. I was the teacher's pet. He was the class clown.
I was not the class clown. I was best friends with the class clown.
You were. So
and
by
everything
association.
was funny to me. I was 9 years old and pretty much anything made me laugh.
So the teacher absolutely adored me. So she would leave me in charge anytime she had to leave the classroom. And so, yeah, I got a little power hungry, okay? I'll admit it.
Yeah, you did.
Give me an expo marker to this day, and I am loving it. So, yeah.
It was quick to write, like...
Whiteboard and expo marker, and someone tells you, write anyone's name on the board. Who talks? Okay, cool. I got it. And so, yes, I would often write Ryan's name on the board along with a few others. My mom now says that I was writing his name on the board because I liked him and I just wanted to write his name and focus on him. I mean,
because I definitely wasn't doing nothing half the time.
You were laughing. Wasn't that funny?
Well, Steven was making me laugh, okay?
Absolutely.
Steven is hilarious.
I agree.
Like, he didn't even have to try to be hilarious, and there was nothing I could do about it, okay?
So, long story short.
Like, even if I tried to not laugh, I would get in trouble for that. She would write my name down on the board because I was literally holding my mouth shut.
I could tell you was trying.
And had my eyes closed and trying to not make a sound so that I wouldn't get my name written on the board.
So, long story short, we met in 4th grade. We were in the same class, and then we rock on. Obviously, 5th grade.
We were sworn enemies for that very reason.
I never swore to be your enemy.
You did.
Whatever. I don't remember any of this.
It was may have been unwittingly, but you did.
Anyway, so we continued on through elementary, middle school. Kind of had a lot of the same friends, ran in the same circles, but we weren't necessarily friends. I don't think we were enemies. And
you made me miss my recess in the 4th grade several times, and I was not happy with you about that. We were enemies.
I had no idea it was that serious. So,
because I never missed my recess for any other reason. It was always you.
I don't remember this. So, anywho, elementary, middle school, we rock on. We're in band together. I played the French horn. He played the tuba. Then high school, we were also again in school together. Then I moved to Virginia and we lost touch.
Nobody told you to move.
But here's the thing. When I would come home for the holidays to visit family, I would go out with my friend at the time. And it was like my best friend at the time and your best friend at the time, they were dating.
So yeah, we kind of didn't have a choice but to hang out by association.
It was kind of annoying. I was just like,
of course, by this point we were at least, in college.
Yeah, we were in
like I grew up a lot.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like, hey, it wasn't animosity on my part. It was like, oh, hey. And then I think was it after college or during college when we went to that New Year's Eve party?
So New Year's Eve 2010.
So, okay, senior year.
So one of my best friends and her sister threw a huge...
My sister.
What was it? Supposed to be a huge New Year's Eve bash for like the whole city, right? And of course, we're back in Texarkana over the break. And supposed to be a huge bash for the whole city, right? Not a lot of people showed up, so there was so much alcohol. Sponsored alcohol, so we didn't have to pay for anything.
And really good appetizers.
Really good appetizers. There were chefs.
So because there wasn't a lot of people there, that left me and Ryan pretty much to sit by each other and talk to each other because it was only a handful of people there. So I was like, "Oh, hey, you, how are you? How's life?" And
we actually had a decent conversation.
We had a really great time.
To my surprise.
Yeah, and I remember in that moment being like, "Wait, do I like Ryan Versie? Like, what? This is Ryan Versie. Like, no." And I was kind of
like, wait, did I just have a pleasant conversation with Tara Carr? It has to be the alcohol.
Yep, that's what I said. I was like, okay, maybe it's
It
alcohol.
has to be.
And then we danced together. You taught me the bunny hop.
Yep.
Oh, that's why I love the bunny hop to this day.
Aw.
But yeah, it was just like fun. We had a good time. We had fun. We had good conversation. And then I guess it was probably like a year later.
It was about a year later.
And we started messaging on Facebook. And that kind of turned it. It was that moment when my aunts looked at me and they were like, who you texting? Because I was looking at my phone and smiling. And that's when I realized, okay, this might be something there. We were just like going back and forth and just having a really good banter and really good conversation. And I had a lot of guys from school, from, back in the day, be like, slide into the DMs, hey, stranger, or hey, how you been? And it's just kind of like, ugh. It's like usually annoying. It's usually like, okay, this conversation is going nowhere. Why did you even try? But with Ryan, it was just different. Like it was the person I could spar with, on my level. It was really intriguing.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed, having those random conversations. And I remember when I first sent that Facebook message, I was like, let me see how she's doing, just check on Tara. Why not, So, literally sent a message on Facebook that said, hey. And, all the following messages, I made sure my grammar was correct because,
I'm a stickler for grammar.
Yes, I was literally, capitalizing the beginning of my sentences and putting punctuation where it needed to be. Because we're both communication majors. So grammar is kind of our thing. A lot of our friends hate us because we're such grammar police. But yeah.
Yeah. So, we just started messaging back and forth. And then at some point, I was like, well, next time I'm home, we should grab dinner or drinks. And
yeah, you literally was like, let's do dinner and drinks. I was like, sure.
Yeah, because this was during my phase where I was like, I'm going to be the one to take initiative. And I'm not going to wait on a guy to ask me out. And so I was like, all right.
I thought that was cool. I was like,
there.
That's kind of dope.
Yeah. So, but again, I'm still not really sure if this dinner and drinks is two friends catching up or an actual date. So kept kind of going back and forth on that. So I went home to see my mom, my sister, my niece, whole family for the holidays. And
so just a heads up, home at this point for Tara is Houston.
Yeah.
And I was in, where was I, Dallas or Shreveport? I was in Shreveport with my mom for
You
a
were
little bit.
living in Shreveport, but for some reason
I was in Houston that weekend.
Houston, yeah.
It was over Christmas, so I was back in Houston hanging out with people.
Right. And so with that, I was just like, okay, cool, we're going to make this happen. And so we ended up finding a date that worked for both of us. And we went out to eat. And during that whole night, it was just kind of like, wait, is this a date or is this?
In my mind, it was a date, but I was afraid to say it.
Me too. So yeah, our first date was so much fun. It was one of those dates where you just don't want the night to end, which is like super cliche, but it was. After we left the restaurant, I didn't want to go home. I wanted to keep kicking it. And so we couldn't find anything else to do, believe it or not, in Houston. And we went to Walmart. And the thing is, like,
that's a Texarkana tradition. It's like when there's nowhere else to go, because Texarkana is relatively small. So when there was nothing else to do, just go to Walmart.
Well, not only that, but it was just like something super low key, no pressure. And it was just amazing. And, we just walked around like kids, like looking at cereal and like all the different all the different types of cereal and all the different types of dressing that wasn't there when we were kids. And
all the new types of chips.
Yes, There's the different chips.
30 something flavors of Pringles. When we were kids, there was Cheez-Ums,
yep,
the barbecue, sour cream and cheddar, the regular kind, and then along comes the pizza flavored Pringles.
Man, pizza! Oh, that changed.
That was a game changer.
That changed.
And now there's like 30 different ones.
Yeah, so and that's the thing too. We're both comm majors, so we're analyzing, the product and the marketing
and the placement.
Yes, and
Yeah,
so
we're such
we were
nerds.
we were nerding out, playing with the beach balls and whatnot. I mean, just having a fun time, just walking around literally aimlessly. And so, and then another thing. Okay, here's two things that I will say that were my signs of, okay, I like this guy. One, when we were at dinner, he offered me some of his food, and that is a big thing to me because I grew up, me, my mom, my sister eat off each other's plates, and just community style. My mom's one of 7, and so that's just just kind of a family thing where you just eat off each other's plates, and it's not a thing at all. So that was a big important thing for me. I wanted my husband to be that type, and also it says to me that you're sharing and you're just like a generous person.
And for me, like, I grew up, my mom had me really young. So the earlier years of my life, I lived with my grandmother. She was one of, I think 7 or 8. So I guess she kind of naturally instilled that whole sharing thing with me. And a lot of times it was just me and her in the house, and I don't know when it started, but I just always remember, me and Graham sharing everything, or me and mom sharing everything. And plus I was an only child, so I never really felt the need to like kind of defend my food or anything. I've heard horror stories of kids with a lot of siblings having to fight over their food or whatever. So that was never me.
Yeah. And so that one thing stood out to me. And then also the fact that when we were in the car, he literally, as soon as he picked me up, which first of all, he picked me up, but as soon as he picked me up, he said, "Hey, here's my iPod. You pick the playlist."
I called it a Ripod.
He did. And so I was like, okay, all right. That to me is major. If you're letting me pick the music and letting me explore your playlist, that means I get to see kind of into your soul and get to know a little bit about you. So it was really cool. So those two things stood out to me from our first date. And then just kind of, I guess, wrapping up our story, we, from there, after that date, I had to fly back to Virginia because this was, again, when I was living in Virginia at the time. He texted me and said, "Have a safe flight. Call me when you land." And that I literally was just speechless because I'm like, what? Call you when I land? Not have a safe flight. It was great to see you, or have a safe flight. Text me when you land. Or
I had no idea the impact of the phrase "call me when you land," but I legit wanted her to call me when she landed.
That was major to me. Cause mind you, at this time and, prior to this, I was dating guys that were just like doing the absolute bare minimum. And so this was major. I was like, oh, okay. So you actually want to hear my voice. Great. So I did. I called him when I landed, and it was just like, we talked every day after that. Like, it was just crazy. I mean, we were on the phone 10, 12 hours a day. I mean, literally from that moment on, the next couple of months, we were just pretty much.
Like, there were days where we would go to sleep on the phone and wake each other up for work the next day.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we ended up making an official dating.
Within like, I think it was, like 2 months, because this was like around New Year's when we hung out in Houston. And I went back to my best friend's house where I was staying. Most of my best friends are girls. So I went back to LaJulia's house. This was Keisha's house, but LaJulia was there. I don't remember. I think it was LaJulia and Keisha. It was LaJulia and Keisha. I don't remember whose house it was. Point is, I get back and I was like, I think she might be the one. I legitimately had that conversation with LaJulia, and she was excited. She was like, "Oh, tell me all the details. So, and yes, LaJulia, that's what you sound like. Mm-hmm. So, we were talking. I told her the whole story about how we met in the 4th grade and how we were arch enemies because she was always getting me in trouble in the 4th grade, and I kept having to miss my recess and stand on the wall because you wanted to put my name on the board for no reason because Steven was making me laugh, and that's not my fault. But yeah, so it actually turned out to be exactly what I thought it was gonna be. I was like, did this really just happen with the girl who kept getting me in trouble and was always like, I guess I don't even know how to describe it. You were just that one girl who was like, it's like I was also a nerd, and I don't understand how you were like being so mean to a fellow nerd, but whatever. Point is, yeah, it worked out pretty nicely, and then we're just on the phone every day and constantly talking to each other while I was in Dallas and she was in Virginia. So, and after a while, I was like, so this was New Year's all the way up to February, and I think it was like before Valentine's Day. I straight up said, I was like, look, I very much would love for you to be my girlfriend, but no pressure on you. You don't have to give me an answer right now. Take all the time you need to think about it. I know we're long distance, it doesn't always work, but I feel like we can make it work.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously we did. So like one of the things that stood out to me was on that first date, he had said, maybe I'll come out and visit you. And so like I couldn't get dudes an hour away to come visit me. So you're talking about paying for a plane ticket. I was like, okay, all right. And, yeah, so it was just, I don't know. It was just different.
I bought a plane ticket, and I owe my line brother a significant amount of money at the time. And I bought a plane ticket. If he was mad about me buying that plane ticket and posting pictures in Virginia on Instagram, he didn't say anything. And after a while, he kind of saw it too before I even got a chance to explain it to him. He was just like, she the one, didn't she? I was like, I think so. But yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up dating. We started dating, I guess it was like February 23rd.
It was exactly February 23rd when we were on the phone. You said, and to answer your question, I think we already are in a relationship. I was like, that's all I need to hear. Yeah.
So we changed that Facebook status, which was tough for me because I don't like people all in my business. But I did it. I took that little leap. Also, I kind of thought maybe I'm being catfished or punked because I'm like, how does dude come from out my past? But it ended up being legit, I think.
What do you mean you think?
I think.
This is one of those moments where I need this to be a video show, because if you could see my reaction.
But yeah, so then I was still in Virginia. He was still in Dallas. So we were trying to decide, would he move to Virginia? Would I move to Texas? He looked into jobs out there, but ultimately I wanted to move back closer to my family anyway. And I always knew I wanted to be back in Texas or somewhere in that vicinity. And so I started applying to jobs in Texas and Houston, San Antonio, Austin, all over. Ended up getting a job in Northwest Arkansas. And was like, okay, that's closer. At least we are driving distance.
It's a few hours of a drive, and I'm like, 5 hours driving is nothing for me. So
yeah, versus a plane. So we were like, all right, cool, this is manageable. And I think we did long distance for like a year or so. And then he got a job here, and so we were able to be in the same area, which was amazing. And the rest is herstory.
It is.
And so fast forward to this weekend, the moment you've all been waiting for. Y'all, I'm sure y'all like, okay, get to the juice.
Right.
Get to the tea. So this weekend, Ryan had told me, months ago. Well, first of all, we've been planning to do a photo shoot for a while because we haven't taken pictures. I've been saying we need to take pictures because we took pictures together. I mean, like professional pictures in, what was that, 2014?
13.
Oh, wow. 2013.
Because I was still working at that terrible portrait studio that will not be named on this podcast.
Yes. So 2013, we took professional pictures, and then again in 2015.
That was 14.
Okay, 2014. So yeah, either way, it had been 4 or 5 years. And so we've been saying, all right, we need to take pictures. And it's hard for us because we're both photographers. It's hard for us to find a photographer who
can capture the photos the way that I would.
Right.
I'm very particular about my work. I only shoot in manual mode. I do not play with any of those other modes. They're pointless to me. And yeah, so it was literally a struggle, to find someone who I trusted.
And so with that being said, we were supposed to do the photo shoot last year and couldn't end up getting it together. And so we were like, okay, we're going to do the photo shoot. So finally he picked a date, told me when the photo shoot would be. And I was like, all right, perfect. Because I'm obviously, I couldn't walk for a couple of months in the fall. So that kind of ruled it out and delayed it.
For those just tuning in to episode 3, listening to us for the first time, she had a very bad car accident, which resulted in an ankle surgery.
Yes.
That's why she couldn't walk.
Yes. Like the doctor would not allow me to bear weight. I was non-weight bearing for a couple months. But yeah. So then he was like, all right, got the date for the photo shoot. And I'm like, all right, cool. Put it in my calendar. And meanwhile, this whole time, I gotta be honest, I was kind of dreading this photo shoot. I did not want to do it because I don't know what it is. Like when I was younger, I was what you would call a ham. I mean, always posing, always ready for the photographer. My dad was a photographer, so I grew up with a camera in my face. So I mean, if there was a camera in my vicinity, I'm smiling. I'm ready for it. But the older I get and the more I've gotten into photography on my own, I'm more comfortable now behind the camera. And so I just didn't feel like doing a photo shoot. And so I kept hoping maybe the weather would be bad. Maybe it'll rain. Maybe it'll get canceled. I didn't want to go shopping and pick out an outfit. I didn't want to do anything. But you know what? He was like, all right, we're going to do this. And so the photo shoot was the ruse that he used to trick me into getting my hair and nails and eyebrows done. And yeah, so we go to this photo shoot and we take some pictures in one outfit. So he had on a Prince shirt, I had on a Whitney Houston shirt, and we're rocking it. Then we go to a different location and change into these royalty shirts that he made for us. And it's like, okay, cool. We're taking these pictures by this bridge and getting some good shots. And then we moved to like just in that same vicinity, but to a different area to take pictures. And the photographer goes, okay, Tara, you stand here and then Ryan pose behind her. And I'm like, okay, cool. That could be dope. And then the photographer's like, oh, Ryan, I don't like that pose. And I'm thinking, you taking these pictures for us. How you gonna tell us how to pose? Like, we grown, we got this. Like, just take the picture. And so I look around and I'm like, okay, I don't see what was wrong with Ryan's pose, but whatever. Then the photographer, Ryan does a different pose. Photographer's like, I don't like that pose either. And I'm like, okay, I'm about sick of you. And so I was just so over it. I'm like, you're not gonna sit here and tell us how to pose. Like, we got this. Just take the picture. And so then Ryan goes, how about this pose? And I turn around and he's standing there with a ring box, y'all. A ring box with not one, but 2 rings. And I screamed. I said, ah! I screamed and I jumped out of my skin.
It was actually much louder than that.
It was. I was trying to be gentle on the mic, but yeah, I yelped. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, it took her about 30 seconds to like come back to life.
I couldn't process it. Here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, didn't you know? Of course I knew. In my brain, we had talked about getting married for, a long time. Of course, we, knew that we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. But however, that talking about it is really different than like it actually happening. And it's like, I was still just as surprised. I was still shocked. And I had no idea it was going to be that day, that moment. And it caught me off guard. It definitely did. I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I, basically the photo shoot was actually intentional because I was like, you know what, we're doing this podcast, we need better pictures. Our current album art or cover art, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, is actually a flyer that I made for our shows on the radio station that we used to work for. And the picture of her is actually kind of old. The picture of me is not actually me. It's my face on an outfit that I like that I found on Pinterest. And I didn't have time to order the outfit. Couldn't find where to get the jacket from. needed a haircut, didn't have anybody to take any new pictures of us. But I needed to advertise this show that was coming up in a matter of days. I needed to get it on Instagram and get it on the website and all of that kind of stuff so we could tell people to tune in and listen. So I was like, okay, let me get creative. I'm good at Photoshop. Let me just put my face on a different picture that looks like it could be me. And nobody knew until I told them that it was not me. So I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and get some new pictures for the podcast. Probably gonna update the cover art soon, but whatever. So that was my reason for the photo shoot.
So it made perfect sense to me. Like, okay, we need to do a photo shoot. A, because we've been needing to update new pictures, but then B, we got the podcast. Let's go ahead and take some new pictures. Okay, cool. Yeah, great.
Yeah. So at that point, I had all of these ideas in my head. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have a photographer there to capture her reaction because that's going to be hilarious. And it is. It is. It is still to this moment hilarious. So yeah, and then like the third outfit after I popped the question, and of course I was down on my knee, but I'm kind of old school, and she did say yes.
I did. I said yes, of course.
And yeah, so we went from there, went on to got a couple more pictures in that outfit, changed outfits, did another I guess look in that outfit on the next outfit, and then from there, I had a whole nother surprise that she had no idea about.
So we leave the photo shoot, and mind you, this is like, I just got engaged, so I'm calling my mom, my aunts, my grandma, my friends. I'm like so excited, FaceTiming people, and then I'm like, okay, well, we can just like go to the house, which we already had dinner plans because it was our anniversary, and so it was like, okay, we'll go to the house, chill for a second, then go to dinner. So we leave the location of the photo shoot, go to the house, and I walk in my house. Next thing you know, a bunch of our friends pop out of the living room and yell surprise.
/congratulations.
And I scream again. I yelp again.
She threw her stuff on the floor and literally retreated back to the garage.
Yeah, I had my bag with all of my like clothes and makeup bag and everything for the photo shoot.
She didn't just drop it and run. She threw
the bag, ran out towards the garage because I was like, no, what an intruder.
And I was like, babe, calm down.
But yeah, of course, I eventually processed it and went back in and hugged all of our friends, and they had wine and cheese and nice little balloons, a nice little note with congratulations for us. And so it was really sweet.
Yeah. So that was another part of my plan. I was like, you know what? This was actually our friend Joey's idea, because I was talking to him months ago, like last year, about how I wanted to do the proposal, because he was asking like, when you going to propose? I was like, you know what? Real soon. And I was like, here's my plan. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And he was like, man, you know what you should do? You should have me and Tiff come in the house while y'all are gone and set up a surprise party for when y'all get back. I was like, bro, that's brilliant. We're doing it. You're in charge of it.
The irony is they were on their honeymoon when this actually happened.
They went on their honeymoon.
They weren't there.
So they weren't there. But I'm definitely giving Joey his credit for that, because that was a brilliant idea.
It was really sweet. So that was kind of our engagement. I'm still on cloud nine. I'm still in shock. I'm still in awe. I'm still like staring at my hand, like loving the ring. Oh, and like I mentioned, he had 2 rings, so I got to choose between rose gold or white gold, and I chose the rose gold, and I absolutely love it.
I was leaning more towards rose gold, and I knew you were too, but I wanted you to have the option.
And I appreciate that.
And I appreciate that you appreciate that I enjoy options.
Yes, always.
Yeah. But and on top of that, I'm always the person to buy like 2 things if I can't decide what color to get. But in most cases, it's always gonna be black for me. And red is the secondary color. So anyway, yeah. So that is how I proposed to your mother.
Mm-hmm. No kids yet.
No kids yet. We do not have kids. And it's funny. The crazy part is how many people thought we were already married. There were a series of people who thought we were already engaged. Somebody even thought we already had kids that they haven't met.
It's so weird because of the fact that we've been together so long. And I think it's the way we talk to each other, our body language and how we communicate. People just assume that we're married, which is so weird because I'm like, ain't no ring on this finger. Well,
She
it wasn't.
doesn't wear rings at all.
Yeah. And so, but people just assumed that a lot of people came up to us. Were like, I thought you were already married. I'm like, nope.
Hilarious.
But yeah, so we're super thrilled. I mean, this is just another chapter in our story. And I mean, one thing that I do every year for our anniversary is I make a yearbook. And so we have 6 now.
We have 6 yearbooks now.
We have 6 yearbooks now. And so
I proposed on our 6-year anniversary of when she said, I think we already are in a relationship.
right. So I just think that is something that's cool, that when we do have kids, they'll be able to look through and kind of see our story and what we've come through. And I'm super excited to make this year's yearbook. I almost started it today just because I'm so excited to just add in the proposal
And
pictures.
she surprises me with the yearbook, like every year. So it's like a big surprise to me of all. Well, not surprising the fact that I don't know she's doing. I know she's doing it, but she works on it all herself and then hands it to me, and it's just like an amazing collage of all the things we did that year, and all the experiences and all the friends and family and all of that kind of stuff. So kind of like the last episode of The Office where Jim said you literally get to watch yourself grow up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that is for me.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, yeah, I still go back and look through at the earlier ones and like, wow, look how young we were, and man, or just even like, man, look what we've been through. So it's just so amazing. So I'm gonna be honest, I was so naive. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together that the photo shoot was on our anniversary until like right before. Like I knew it was the same day, but I just wasn't thinking about that significance, which is so funny because the Valentine's Day episode, we were talking about how like cliche it is to propose on Valentine's Day or like Christmas or New Year's Eve. But I loved that the proposal was on a holiday that's just for us.
Right.
It wasn't a national holiday. It wasn't, something major, but it was significant to us. It was our day, our 6-year anniversary. And I also am big on like symmetry. And so I loved the symmetry of me being able to say, wow, 6 years ago, I changed my relationship status and then changed it again, but it's not a different person or it's complicated. It's to say we're engaged. And that was like so cool. I mean, just to see all the love pour in from all the likes and comments, and it was just amazing.
Well, I'm glad you said yes. And yeah, that's pretty much how that went.
Yay.
I slept like a baby that night because I was
did.
stressed out for the 2 weeks leading up to it, trying to make sure I had the rings in time and make sure I had everything in place. I literally called all my friends on Friday, all of our friends on Friday, like, hey, I need this. I need you to be here. I need you to do this. Shout out to Michelle and Greg and Mike and everybody else who showed up. It was amazing. That went far more like amazing. Like it went so much better than I could have ever imagined it to. Like Joey had the idea, I set it up, and it was just magic after that. I didn't expect for it to be that much fun. So
and it was so much fun, and shout out to you for paying attention to every little detail and making it a special day for both of us.
The thing that you did learn, however, is that I am a very good liar.
I did all the deceit and the lies, because after the proposal, I started putting 2 and 2 together of all the little signs, and now I'm like, oh, that's what that was. Oh, now that makes sense. So
That's why there was so much wine in the refrigerator, because we had people coming over.
Yeah. So yeah, it was cool though, because I'm very much a control freak and I'm pretty nosy, and anything that we're doing, I'm like, okay, where are we going? When? What time? What am I wearing? Who all gonna be there? Like I like all the details. So for you to have been able to surprise me in that big of a way, kudos to you. Big job. Well done.
Thank you.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some Black love.
The actual podcast now.
Yes. So I hope y'all enjoyed hearing our story of kind of how we met, as well as the surprise engagement. But it is still Black History Month, and so we did want to highlight a few more Black couples. I know the last week we did kind of randomly pick a few, but we had some time to think about it, and so I want to pick my favorite Black couples. Gotta be Gabrielle Union and D Wade. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I'm so obsessed with them on Instagram, as well as with their little girl. I loved Gabrielle Union's book, We're Gonna Need More Wine. I really loved their story on Oprah. I love just kind of the way they met, and the way they have so much fun together, or at least they seem to on Instagram, and so excited for them to have had, you know, their little baby girl, even though she had so many difficulties with that. So I absolutely just adore them, and they're so cute. Reverend and Jesse. Jesse is the kid, Justine. I just, All About the Washingtons, if you have not watched it, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
It's one of the better shows to come out in recent years.
Yeah.
Especially with the black cast.
Yeah, and it's just a cool, like, corny family show, which we don't have enough of those anymore. So I really like that, because sometimes I like just sitcoms that I can put on in the background and not have to pay super close attention to, because if you know, like any Shondaland shows or any like dramas, you have to really pay attention or you're going to miss something important.
You're going to miss the intricate details that kind of tell you what's actually going on.
Sometimes I just want something light and funny, and that All About the Washingtons is a good one. But also I did love their interview on the Black Love on OWN, so it was just like pretty cool. And then Grant Hill and Tamia, like, what? I don't know why, like, I don't know a whole lot about them other than seeing them on Black Love too, but they are just amazing. I really like their story, and they seem to like support each other really well. One episode that they did of Black Love that was on OWN is they talked about him having a really bad injury and then her having some medical issues. And I could really relate to that because like Ryan mentioned earlier, with my ankle surgery, that was just kind of like a really major time in our relationship of, you know, having to depend on each other. And so seeing like, oh, other people have been through that, that was really cool to see how it brought them closer.
It was a major test, and I think we passed.
I think we passed. Absolutely.
Yeah. So my turn, right?
Go ahead, go for it.
So as far as black couples go, I have to start with basketball players. Just like you mentioned, Dwayne Wade and Gabby. I gotta start with, people are gonna be upset with me for starting with Steph and Ayesha before LeBron and Savannah.
Oh, whatever.
But whatever, deal with it. Yeah, Steph and Ayesha, they're basically goals for us. It's just they remind me of us and how corny Steph is and how they just like fit together, how funny they are with each other. That's literally us.
Oh yeah.
I just my 3-pointers aren't that good. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And I love that Ayesha is a chef. I love that she talks about, you know, trying to encourage people to eat healthier and do different things. I love that she's supportive of Steph and also has her own thing going on. I love that. And their kids are hilarious.
Their kids are hilarious and adorable.
Right. And then I can't talk about Steph and Ayesha without talking about LeBron and Savannah. A lot of the times you see NBA players, especially the ones who got drafted out of high school, go straight from English class to the NBA, making millions of dollars at 18 years old. There is definitely something to be said about a man who literally did just that and kept the same woman the whole way through. That's like, you know, that's major respect. So they've made it through all of these years with LeBron being an NBA player with 0 scandals.
Right.
The only LeBron scandal had nothing to do with him. It was his teammate and his mom.
Right.
And I don't even know the whole story with that, so I'm not going into it. But yeah, that's absolutely admirable. Is that the word?
Admirable.
It's
Thank you. The word, but it's not the pronunciation.
Yeah. Okay. I knew that didn't feel right. Absolutely admirable. Definitely somebody worth looking up to, especially with all the philanthropy, which is, extremely important to me. The things that LeBron has done, I absolutely look up to him for that. I got all the respect in the world for that guy, except when he went back to Cleveland, because I absolutely hate how dramatic he is on the court. I do not like LeBron on the court. I don't. As soon as he gets off the court, that's my dude, though. Regardless, I'm rocking with him no matter what, until he gets back on the court. I liked him in Cleveland the first time. I liked him in Miami. The Cleveland the second time, And I haven't really been watching the NBA this season, but so far, I haven't really heard too many negative things about him being a huge crybaby on the court. Anyway, not the point.
I was going to say, this is about their relationship.
Not the point. Anyway, LeBron and Savannah, we salute you as well.
Who's your third?
Third. I'm kind of torn between Tia and Corey. And
Oh, I do like Tia Mowry and Corey Hardwick.
but I'm gonna have to go with Boris and Nicole.
Yes,
Because
love
if
me
you
some
know how
Nicole
old they are
Parker.
and you know what they look like,
Yes,
that's my goal for us. I don't want to age.
yes.
I
they
got to
look
figure out what
amazing.
their secret is to continue to look the way that they do. And I remember, what was that show, that cooking show with
The Chew.
the Chew? Boris was on the Chew one day, right?
Yeah.
Mind you, this man is fully dressed, has on a blazer, a button down shirt, and I think he had a sweater over the shirt. It's like he had on like 3 layers. He took off the blazer, and the women in the crowd just went nuts.
Yeah.
Wasn't exposing anything.
Yeah.
He just removed one specific layer. And I want to get to the point where, when I'm like 40, 49, 50 years old, I want that ability
Yeah.
to take off one layer and not reveal anything, but have all the ladies in the crowd, oh my God. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They do look amazing, and they're super, super cute and super sweet together.
And again, health and fitness is becoming increasingly important, especially nowadays when most of the people in the world are kind of waking up to being more conscious about what you put into your body and taking care of your body. So they're a prime example of taking care of your body. So
Yeah.
I absolutely enjoy that too.
Speaking of, this is the last episode we'll have this year within Black History Month. So speaking of Black History, we had a chance to check out the Kevin Hart Black History Netflix special. What'd you think of that?
That was hilarious. That was very well done. It was obviously for the kids.
Yeah.
But, enjoyable for, adults and older kids who watch it with their younger siblings and things like that. After going through an extensive amount of history classes in high school and college and things like that, and, doing a lot of personal research, some of the stories that were told for a kid's point of view to help them understand it better were a bit annoying because, the details were a lot, modernized to kind of make it relevant, which was a bit annoying for me. I like, knowing exactly what happened. But it was very well written, well directed. Kevin Hart's hilarious in pretty much everything. The kids who were a part of the show were very good actors as well. Laurel was in it, and Laurel's always funny. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was super cute. I mean, the thing is, like, I was just complaining to someone before we saw that about how there's no Black History stuff on like streaming services, and if there is, it's MLK, it's Harriet Tubman
Or Roots.
I mean, and there's a time and a place for that, and I love that. And don't get me wrong, like obviously MLK and Harriet Tubman did amazing things for Black people in America. Same thing for the movie Roots. It was a very historic moment in time. But
there's so much more to it.
There's more to our history than that. And that's why I liked the Kevin Hart special, because that was his whole point is, did you know there's more Black history out there than the typical stuff that you think of? And I love that it started out talking about how there's more to Black history than slavery. A lot of times with movies, there's pros and cons. It is good to see a movie about slavery just to remember like how bad people had it. I mean, same thing with books. I mean, I read Underground Railroad and was just like, oh my goodness, but at the same time, you want to see more empowering stories. You want to see more stories in different lights than just the help and things like that. Like, we know all of that stuff existed, and it's good to, appreciate that and where we've come from. But at the same time, there's so many other cool stories and fun facts and things that we should know about our history.
I remember history class in the 7th grade. The only thing we talked about during Black History Month was like our teacher literally played the movie Glory.
Yes.
And that was it. That was Black History Month.
Wait, were we in the same class for that?
We might have been.
Yeah, I remember that. And I mean, it's like...
No, it was 8th grade because we were
it was 8th grade.
already. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And the thing is, it's like, okay, thanks, but you couldn't come up with anything else, that you couldn't get creative.
There was so much more to Black history. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Black history did not start with slavery, and it did not end with President Obama.
Right. And that's the crazy thing, is we have to like make that apparent. And so with that being said, I will say I really enjoyed that. And if you haven't seen it, you probably should check it out. Also want to talk about the Oscars really briefly because it has some black moments, and the Oscars gets criticized obviously for not being diverse enough, and there's room for that, but I do want to celebrate a few pretty cool moments. And so Regina King, just for she looked gorgeous.
Yes.
In that white gown. Absolutely gorgeous, flawless, with that amazing split. And then
I was going to say, I was about to, oh man, I almost said split, but it is a split. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
And then her speech was so beautiful. I loved that moment with her mom and just talking about what the award meant to her. And then Spike Lee finally won for BlacKkKlansman. Finally. That's amazing.
You want to talk about long overdue? That's the definition. Spike Lee, Oscar. Long overdue.
And just seeing that Black Boy Joy with him and Samuel L. Jackson was pretty hilarious. Cool. That was pretty cool. And I loved that moment because that reminds me so much of us and our friends and how we celebrate each other. And so that was pretty dope. And then Ruth Carter. Okay. She is the Black Panther costume designer, and she won. And it was so well deserved. Like I mentioned before, I met her when she was doing a different little talk, a seminar about kind of how she went through, and it was just so cool to learn all the intricate details that went behind costume design for that movie, which you could tell just by looking at it. Anytime you watch it, it's just amazing. Even one of the first thing you notice is kind of the symbolism of the colors that they wear for each tribe and things like that. But one of the things that I love the most about that movie is the fact that you have women who can be fully covered and sexy and feminine at the same time.
Feminine and badass at the same time.
Right. And be superheroes and be,
and be brilliant. And be geniuses, like army leaders and scientists, and still be hot while wearing clothes.
Yeah. So she did that, and she definitely deserved that. So I was just so excited for her in that win.
Yeah, absolutely. Did I cover the Oscars talk?
Yeah.
Because I didn't really pay attention to all of it.
I just caught half the Oscars. I'm not really big into award shows. I just wanted to catch a few.
Me either. I should start paying attention to these kind of things, but whatever. In the meantime, yeah. So, do we have listener letters?
Yeah, let's just do a couple.
This should be fun.
Okay. So, let's see. So, just a reminder, you can email us. All you have to do is email AskTTRL. So AskTTRL@gmail.com. AskTTRL@gmail.com. And just shoot us a quick email. If you have any questions about anything in your life, maybe it's work drama, maybe it's a dilemma, maybe it's a relationship drama or advice.
Even if you want to know something about us, just whatever question you have. Yeah. And we might read it on the show. We might answer it on the show. Obviously, if we read it, we're going to answer it to some capacity. But yeah, definitely do that.
Yeah, so feel free to send in your listener letters to askctrl@gmail.com. But let's get into the first one. So first question is from Carlisha Washington. And
hi, Carlisha Washington.
Carlisha wants to know, what is your favorite thing about each other?
Ooh, let me go first. My favorite thing about you is the fact that you have just an amazing personality. I can take you anywhere. I can take you around my family. I can take you around my coworkers. I can take you around my friends. And you literally fit right into everything. It's like you're extremely authentic. You're yourself all the time. You don't feel the need to just play any other roles. Which can't always be said for me, because I'm a bit of a chameleon. I enjoy code switching, but you are just simply you all the time, and I love it. I love who you are. I love that you love who you are, and I have yet to meet anybody with anything bad to say about you. You're just an amazing person.
And not even my mom.
And all of that now I could spend the rest of my life with.
Oh, that's sweet. So I could pick a number of things. I have a lot of things, obviously, that I like about you.
That was just the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, if I didn't, I wouldn't be with you. And I'll pause to stare at my ring real quick. But the first thing that came to my mind, as far as like my favorite thing about you, is like your heart. You have a very giving heart. That's a very big thing for me, in terms of like, you know, you are going to be the first one to give to someone in need. And that is something that I really absolutely love about you. I mean, I can name several situations where no one else would know. And you know what I mean? You could have just went on about your life, but somebody was in need and you went above and beyond out of your way to make sure they had what they needed, whether it's a coat or gloves or, you know, just some cash. I mean, whatever the case may be. And even if, you know, we don't have a lot, you're willing to give what you do have to others. And, just kind of the fact that you're always thinking about somebody else. It's like, you know, it's just crazy because, you know, okay, I got this, but I know so-and-so needs it. So is it okay with you if I give it to them? Yes, go for it. You know, and that's why I love you. It's one of the reasons why I love you, because that's what I want for us. I want to see us extrapolate that on a bigger level when we are balling and, you know, doing well. Then we can do something random. I saw on my timeline, this guy was walking in the store and bought out the Girl Scouts. You know how the little kids sit out in front of the grocery store?
This man bought the whole table.
He bought it was $500 worth of Girl Scout cookies just to get them out of the cold. And like, I loved that story because that's the type of stuff you do. And I just think the world needs more of that. And I feel like that speaks volumes to your heart. And that's the type of person I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Oh, that really is important to me. If I can tell this story real quick. Growing up, we didn't have a whole lot. You know, my mom was young and, you know, kind of getting herself situated as I was growing up. My grandmother had already retired. So a lot of the things we had were blessings in terms of where it came from, how we got it. I you know, never really knew the extent of, you know, our socioeconomic status as I was growing up. Looking back, I know for sure we had angels, and I just want to, you know, I always want to, you know, never be too selfish to be, you know, to be that for someone else. You know,
that's beautiful.
That's just how I grew up. And if I can, you know, pay it forward or give back at any point, I'm always willing to, you know, happy and willing to do that for someone else.
So the next question is, when is it right to meet the family? And what do you do if you don't like them? I think this is a good one. And this is from Prince.
What's up, Prince? Thanks for the question. All right. So when is it appropriate to meet the family? So our situation is different. My mom already knew Tara because my mom was a teacher's aide at the school Tara went to prior to 4th grade. So she was already very aware of Tara at this point. However, you know, my mom didn't like Tara by the time 4th grade rolled around because Tara broke my heart in the 4th grade. And she could tell that I liked her, but didn't like her and couldn't allow myself to like her because Tara was so mean to me. But anyway, so fast forward, obviously, many, many years until we're adults and now we're starting to date again. My mom was shocked. So at this point, you know, for us, it was just like, sure, why not? You know, we kind of already knew each other's families from different reasons. We grew up and around the same place. So it wasn't really an issue for us. It was just like, sure, why not? But I'm going to use a previous relationship as an example to better answer this question. So in college, I was seeing this young woman whose family I had the chance to meet because they came around for homecoming. We were in college, so shout out to Prairie View, always. Homecoming rolls around, so her family had an RV, so they would always bring the RV up. And, you know, it was still relatively early for us to, you know, for her to introduce me to her family, but it seemed to work out very well. she said I had a really good personality, and her family actually liked me because she had brought other guys around before, and they were just like, oh, okay, whatever. And to my surprise, they actually, enjoyed having me around. I was like, wow, I must have really made an impression. So, even just, that was, a relatively short-lived situationship. It ended well. It ended on decent terms, no problems. We just kept being friends. And she said that I was the only guy who the situationship stopped and her family did not hate me. So apparently, I'm probably not answering this question. I'm just
rambling.
Apparently bragging about how cool I am. But anyway, this was a matter of like 2 or 3 months, which seemed soon, but it worked. So it really just depends on the person. It really depends on you. It depends on your significant other, and it depends on your significant other's family, because your significant other is going to know better than you can how soon is appropriate. So I would say make sure that there's a reason to introduce your significant other to your family. If you're at a point in a relationship, whether it's been 2 months and you absolutely know this is the one, or it's been 2 years and you're still not really sure, make sure you have a reason to introduce your significant other to your family. Because it really doesn't make sense if you don't know where the relationship is going. That's like sort of a final stage, in my opinion. It's like, don't take them around the family unless the family needs to meet this person. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, I would say 3 to 6 months is probably fair. I'm a very private person. I never introduced people to my family all willy-nilly. Like, if you were gonna meet my family, it was serious, mostly because my family is crazy, okay, on both sides, and they are going to be all up in your business. They're going to grill you. They're going to ask you, what are your intentions? They love me and care about me. And so it's not going to be some passive thing that I wasn't introducing to everybody. Honestly, my mom will get mad because I wouldn't even tell her, when I was talking to people. I just feel like if it's not serious, then they don't need to know. Now, when it gets serious, and in my heart, I feel like, okay, I could see you being a part of my life longer term, then yeah, okay, you need to meet my family at that point, and I want to meet your family, and that's really the time. So I would say probably that's around 3 to 6 months for most people, but like Ryan said, it could be 2 years. I mean, it depends on if you are dating and talking every day, or if it's one of those, we went on a date and then 6 months later I got a hey stranger text and we hooked up. Those that could drag out for a year or two. But if this is consistent, you're really talking to this person pretty regularly and you care about them a lot and you want them to meet your family, then go for it. But just keep in mind that your family's not going to forget. If you bring around somebody else, they're going to be like, what happened to so-and-so? Family will call you out in front of the person and not care. My grandma, this is so funny. When my uncle was dating my aunt, she called her by the wrong name because my uncle had a habit of dating all women with the name R. So I mean, it was just oh hey Regina, or hey Rhonda, whatever it was. I can't remember what the name was, but the thing is, it was just okay, you gonna get caught up if you introduce everybody to your mama. So just make sure that it is serious, and kind of examine your heart. You need to have the talk, as they say, hey, where's this going? What are we doing before you introduce, That's my opinion.
It also matters how close you are to your family.
True. That's true. Because if you're not really close to your family, then
there's really not a point until it's time to get married. Also, the email didn't mention kids, but also take kids into consideration when you're introducing a significant other. If you already have kids or the person already has kids, that's an immediate thing. If you want to bring this person around your child, because you don't want the kid to get attached. You don't want the kid to get the wrong idea. And you also want to make sure that this person is a good person around your child.
So the other part of this question was, what if you don't like them? So what if you don't I really, I don't know what I would do. I really your mom and I get along so well.
Y'all are the same person. It's
Basically.
scary.
I mean, I can sit and talk to your mom for 2 hours and it not be a thing. Like, I can hang out with her without you.
You were on the phone with my mom for like 20 minutes yesterday before I even realized that you were talking to my mom. You sound like you're on the phone with one of your friends.
Yeah, she is one of my friends. Like, I ain't one of your little friends. She is one of my friends.
I grew up and she is my friend now. So.
My mom adores you, you know.
Aww.
So I don't know what I would do. That would be difficult for me to even be with somebody if I don't like their family. Now, I know people do it. I know people that do it, and that just, you have to be okay with not seeing them on the regular. They just won't really be a part of their lives, or it'll be awkward every time, you know. But I'm just like, I don't know that I could do that for Thanksgiving, like holidays and stuff, to just be like, ugh, I'm sitting in a corner rolling my eyes the whole time. Like, I don't know what I would do.
I once dated a girl whose mom liked me, but also didn't like me at the same time. It was so weird. Mind you, we were in high school, right? So her mom took everything way too seriously. I guess it's sort of that small town mentality. Mind you, I'm in high school, right? So I quit my little part-time job because it was baseball season. I was on the baseball team. So I let my job go, and I was, with intentions of going back when baseball season was over with. And, her mom found out. She was just like, why you quit your job to play baseball? You had a job. You're supposed to get your money. I was like, I'm in high school. When else am I going to play high school baseball?
Right.
Second of all, once high school is over with, I don't have a choice but to work. Third of all, why are you concerned about my money? I'm not, feeding your daughter. You still are.
Yeah.
So
that's weird.
It was the most awkward thing. And then we went on the trip to watch her little brother play. I think it was a baseball tournament in a summer league or something like that. And I, for some reason, got invited to go on this trip, and I agreed to it for some reason. I'm not sure why I did. And her mom just like was going in on me all day. It was the most unpleasant experience. And it was confusing because, she was, completely obsessed with me at first. And all of a sudden she's just like, I guess me quitting my job to play baseball as a 17-year-old was just too much for her. But, I was still a kid at that point. She was still a kid. We were both still kids. Nobody's finances really mattered except the parents. So I don't know why she was so upset. From that point, we decided to be friends.
Yeah.
We let it go.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like I said, people do it, but I personally don't know that I could. I have a friend, one of my really good friends, just like really does not like her in-laws. And
what's that like?
Yeah. And like has to like dread spending time with them. And I wouldn't want that. I mean, obviously that person is more important and you just deal with it. It's kind of like Everybody Loves Raymond. Like, you got those annoying in-laws. Like, you just deal with it because you love your partner. So you got to decide if it's worth it or not. I don't think I could do it though.
I don't. I'm kind of glad we don't really have that situation. I think our biggest issue is figuring out which family to go see on the holidays.
Exactly.
Because
everybody wants to see us.
I have aunts in Seattle that haven't met you, and I just proposed to you, so I can tell they were kind of upset when they sent me the congratulations text. I was like, oh crap, I should have called them before, and I didn't really get a chance to.
And we've been meaning to go to Seattle for years, but I mean it's hard because we have, our moms and then also our dad's side of the family, and so much extended family.
And then my dad's side of the family is still upset because they haven't gotten a holiday with you yet.
Yeah.
We just kind of see them when we're in town. Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough.
And this is without kids. I can't imagine traveling with kids. So yeah.
No, they're gonna have to come see us when we have kids.
But good luck, Prince. I hope you find the right time to meet the family, and I hope that you like them and they like you.
I hope you got an answer in there somewhere.
We're gonna wrap up this show with our love life advice for the week. Just a quick tip on your love life in general, and I'm gonna go first. All right. And so my advice is, if your partner is a bit of a control freak and always likes to be in the know, it's still important to surprise them. So as we found out this weekend, sometimes I can relax a little and let you plan things and surprise me, and it can be a really good surprise. It can be beautiful. Pause to stare at the ring. And you know,
it really is a nice ring. Everybody's been telling me I did such a great job picking the ring out, so that's why she keeps pausing and to stare at it.
I love it.
Thank you.
It fits me and my personality perfectly. But the moral of that story was that I can relax a little bit sometimes and let you plan things and not have to always be in control and in the know of what's going on. And it can be a really fun, great experience. So that's my tip.
And my tip, I'm going to spin off of what you said. And it's actually geared towards the ladies. Ladies, or pretty much anybody. I'm going to say ladies for now, but this, obviously can be applied to whatever your type of relationship you're in. Ladies, let your man be the man sometimes. Like, I grew up in a Southern household, without a father figure directly in the house. I knew my dad, but he wasn't there in the house with me. But I always knew the type of man I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be the man who took the initiative to do X, Y, and Z for my woman. I wanted to, make sure I took the time to surprise her. I wanted to make sure that if there was something in the house that we needed, I was going to go get it. I was going to make sure we had it. Even before we got married, like early on, since we've been living together, I was just like, you know what? I see the need for something. I'm going to fulfill the need. I knew the type of man I wanted to be. And then sometimes, ladies, it's cool that you're, becoming more and more independent and things like that. But also sometimes your man wants to, be the one to step up and handle something. And there's nothing wrong with that, and for the same thing for the fellas, if your lady wants to step up and handle something, it's cool, because at the end of the day, the relationship is a partnership.
Absolutely.
So there's going to be times where you have my back. There's going to be times where I have your back. And that's really how relationships work. But, there's going to be the times where I'm like, look, I got this. You relax. There's going to be times where I feel obliged to take care of something. Not even based on, Southern traditional gender roles that I'm talking about right now, but just out of, desire. There's going to be times where I'm going to step in and take over something. I'm never going to ignore you in the process. Your feelings are going to be considered always. But at the same time, when I know something needs to be done, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to take care of it. And I love the fact that you both let me do that. And I love the fact that you also do that. And it's literally a two-way street for both of us. And again, this doesn't have to be a traditional gender role thing. It's also, whatever type of relationship you're in, your partner sometimes is going to want to, sort of flex a little bit, whether it's flexing or whether it's just, taking a certain level of responsibility or initiative. Just sometimes just sit back and appreciate the fact that you have someone who's willing to do these things. But yeah, I guess that's my tip for the week.
Awesome. So thanks again for listening. We hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit about how we met, our story, our journey, and kind of where we are right now. Happy Black History Month to y'all for the next couple of days, or this last day, I guess. But just wanted to say that again, and remember to follow us at This Is TTRL on Instagram, and that is this is Tara Talks Ryan Listen. So this is TTRL, and you can of course still send in your questions to ask TTRL@gmail.com.
Yes. Also follow us individually at the Ryc, THERY_C. And at some point I have to explain my name. But anyway, and then your name on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, at TCAR_examiner. And at some point I'll explain that as well. TCAR examiner.
Maybe we'll start next week's show explaining our Instagram names.
I can dig it.
Yeah, /stage names, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, again, thank you for listening. Follow us so we can update you on stuff.
Have a good week.
Yeah, have a good week. Peace.